Excited about this fight? I know you pretty well, and it seems like you're a bit subdued in the lead up to this.
Not subdued, but I know what I'm in here to do. I've got a task at hand, and I'm excited to lift the title. I'm not as excited, I love Justin Gaethje, I don't really want to battle him, but I'm gonna have to, you know what I mean? There's no bad blood at all, there's no animosity, I've got nothing but respect for him, but I'm gonna have to rearrange his face for him. So it's a bit bittersweet, but he's the one standing in the way of my dreams and my goals, so he's the one that's gonna have to get put down.
How much interaction?
Fighter, but would you say there's no animosity between you and Paddy as well?
No, I mean, personally, I have nothing against him. Outside the fact that he's, again, same reason why he's pissed off. He's trying to take everything from me, and we got here by being competitive. So, there's no way I'm going to let, go out there and I don't want to let this kid take everything that I've earned and worked for. I've been here for a long time. I've been working my life. I've committed my whole life to this. And so, yeah, I mean, right now the animosity is, you're not taking what's mine. And that's what I'm going, convince myself every day for the last, 2 months, 9 weeks, 8 weeks ago is when I found out I was fighting him. So I've convinced myself, daily that, he's coming for my head and he's going to hurt me. And so, that's where we're at. I don't want to let him hurt me in front of my family, my friends, and I don't want him to take anything from me. So the animosity is, not personal, but obviously I want to fight this guy. I want to beat him. I love the animosity comes from all the doubters. It's crazy how fickle these fans are and how quick they forget who I am and what I do and how good I am at what I do.
Do you believe him that he actually is looking to make this kind of a striking war,
I
or
honestly,
just keep with you?
I don't even listen to that because we'll see. I'm definitely going to turn him into a wrestler. I promise you that. But we'll see. I mean, he's super dangerous. He absolutely commits 100% of his power into his shots. But yeah, I mean, he does leave himself open, and I have to use my experience and my technical abilities to take advantage of those mistakes. He's gonna make mistakes, and you cannot make mistakes at this level. And I have to take advantage of that, when he gets there.
You talk about the wrestling. I mean, he believes his wrestling chops are going to surprise you. He's been touting his success in that department against Michael Chandler. We did see that to some degree as well, right? Do you think
Michael Chandler got himself tired trying to take him down, which was absolutely foolish. I think it was 2-3 times Michael Chandler took him down in the first round. He's lifting him up over his head. Classic Michael Chandler. So
he was going to fight for the belt. He pulled out the night before because he couldn't make weight. Justin Gaethje revealed this brutal truth about another contender. This wasn't casual, it was a scathing indictment of reliability, casting a shadow over championship opportunities. Talent isn't enough when glory slips due to missteps. This statement ripped open the veneer of professionalism, exposing harsh realities and unforgiving standards at the elite UFC ranks. It sets a disturbing precedent for what truly matters when big fights are on the line, leaving fans questioning commitments.
Taking Paddy, then that means you think Paddy is going to take him down. Which, by the way, you're then counting on a lot of luck once he gets there, or a lot of good success once he gets there, keeping him there, submitting him, passing to positions, pounding him out, whatever it is you think's going to happen. But it has to start with the takedown, if you subscribe to that. And meanwhile, the argument would be if it stays on his feet that it would go to Gaethje. Is it that straightforward? I don't think so. And based on what we've seen, I could see where you could come to that conclusion. I'm just sharing, if you follow the sport as a whole, we don't really see that anymore. We don't really see a lot of this, this guy's the better striker and this guy's the better grappler. That's very 1993 thinking. And we've dismissed Paddy for so long.
Justin Gaethje insists there's no personal animosity towards Paddy Pimblett. No bad blood, yet urgency defines his words. He confesses a daily ritual, convincing himself Paddy is coming for my head and is going to hurt me. This isn't personal. It's a primal instinct to protect everything he's built, a lifetime committed to the sport. He doesn't want to be hurt in front of his family or friends. This raw honesty reveals a fighter fueled by a deep need to defend his legacy, not just win, a profound motivation beyond trash talk. It's a battle for identity and what he's earned.
Did you think that there'd be some sort of interim title on the line like there is now in January?
No, not at first. I thought I was going to fight him in October, but then obviously Ilya won the belt and I was in the octagon with him and I thought, oh, this could happen. And then, to be honest, I thought I was going to fight on this card. So for about 3 weeks, we were training for Ilya. And then obviously he come out and said that he won't be fighting in the first half of the year. So a couple of, 2 days later, I got a phone call saying it's going to be Justin Gaethje for the interim title. I was like, yeah, let's do this. As you know, I never say no to a fight. And when that got offered to me, I jumped at the chance.
Did it change?
When he talked about Paddy Pimblett describes his feelings as bittersweet. He respects Justin Gaethje, calling him an absolute legend, and hopes he doesn't retire after their clash. Yet, he states with chilling clarity, "I'm excited to lift the title. This isn't hate, it's a mission." He sees Justin as merely the one standing in the way, an obstacle to gold. Paddy plans to rearrange this face for the title, a contradictory stance of admiration, paired with intent to inflict damage. This calm, surgical approach suggests a fighter deeply confident in his destiny, viewing the high-stakes encounter as a predestined step.
The wrestling capabilities. When you sit down and look at him, Paddy, what do you see?
I see an absolute legend. I've said it so many times today, but he's your favourite fighter's favourite fighter. He's one of my favourite fighters to watch, and I hope when I beat him he doesn't retire. I hope he has some more fights. I hope he doesn't retire once I beat him, but that's what's going to happen. I'm going to beat him just like I beat Michael Chandler. I'll beat him to the punch on the feet. I'll ruin his legs with kicks. I think it'll be quite poetic if I end up finishing him with leg kicks, which I can see he doesn't really throw his anymore. He stopped throwing them, and I'm going to damage his calf. And if it does go to the ground, it'll be over even faster.
Paddy has proven himself. The clash of styles and intentions couldn't be clearer. Paddy envisions a stand-up war promising to beat him to the punch and ruin his legs with kicks. He believes if the fight hits the ground, it will be over even faster, but Justin laughs off this vision, declaring, "I'm definitely going to turn him into a wrestler. I promise you that. This isn't speculation. It's a veteran's calculated prediction, a direct challenge." Justin sees openings, believing Paddy leaves himself open by committing too much power. It sets the stage for a dramatic tactical battle where one fighter's preferred domain will be invaded, forcing a stark departure from comfort.
You mentioned Michael Chandler. Is there anything that you can take from a camp where you prepare for a guy like Chandler into a camp for Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, Michael Chandler's just like a not as good version as Justin Gaethje. They both throw punches very similar. They're both very good wrestlers and defensive wrestlers, but you know, I'll never forget DC laughing at me fight week when I said I'll take Michael Chandler down. He's like, "What? You won't take him down?" I was like, "I will." That's why he was so flabbergasted on the commentary when I actually did take him down. If I want to take Justin Gaethje down, I'll take him down. I know he's got good wrestling, but no one's got wrestling like me. I don't wrestle like a Division 1 wrestler. I wrestle like an MMA fighter.
And that's your own almost superpower, that you're able to do things in a different way. Do you like proving people wrong?
Oh, that is one of my main motivations, proving people wrong, shutting people up. It's been one of them since I first started doing this sport when I was 15.
Paddy remains unfazed by Justin's wrestling threat, branding his grappling an unconventional superpower. He recounts how many, including Daniel Cormier, doubted his ability to take down Michael Chandler. "I'll never forget DC laughing at me fight week when I said I'll take Michael Chandler down," Paddy recalled. He asserts, "If I want to take Justin Gaethje down, I'll take him down." Paddy claims his wrestling isn't predictable. Instead, he wrestles like an MMA fighter, a unique blend opponents struggle to decipher. This steadfast belief in his ground game, honed by experience and triumphs, suggests he welcomes the challenge, ready to expose another misconception.
Ultimately, I have to say, we're here. He's done some great things. He's actually, he finished Michael Chandler. I didn't finish Michael Chandler. And they got Oliveira and Holloway fighting for the BMF belt. And ultimately, Sarukian is definitely probably more, deserving, but, they got up multiple times. And there's just something you cannot do, he was going to fight for the belt. He pulled out the night before, because he couldn't make weight, or, I don't think that any of us are privy to what actually happened that night. I don't know why he got, why he pulled out of the card or why he didn't fight. And I don't think any of us are 100% sure why that didn't happen, but I know he didn't, it does not make the UFC happy, especially if it's not like if it's a serious injury, then obviously there's nothing they can do about it. But if it's, they're propping you up to fight this big fight and then you can't make weight like that, that's a huge problem. It's something that you cannot do in this sport at the highest level.
Justin Gaethje dismisses Paddy's grappling success against Michael Chandler as a tactical error by Chandler, not superior skill. Michael Chandler got himself tired, trying to take him down, which was absolutely foolish, Justin stated, attributing Chandler's fatigue to his explosive, energy-wasting style. He argued that after Chandler wrestled the whole first round, pretty much anybody that's in shape can take him down. This veteran insight suggests Justin won't fall into the same trap, emphasizing a smart gas tank and avoiding reckless energy expenditure. His perspective completely flips the narrative of Paddy's past grappling triumphs, framing them as his opponent's mistakes, not dominance.
Fighter, but would you say there's no animosity between you and Paddy as well?
No, I mean, personally, I have nothing against him. Outside the fact that he's, again, same reason why he's pissed off. He's trying to take everything from me, and we got here by being competitive. So, there's no way I'm going to let, go out there and I don't want to let this kid take everything that I've earned and worked for. I've been here for a long time. I've been working my life. I've committed my whole life to this. And so, yeah, I mean, right now the animosity is, you're not taking what's mine. And that's what I'm going, convince myself every day for the last, 2 months, 8 weeks is when I found out I was fighting him. So I've convinced myself, daily that, he's coming for my head and he's going to hurt me. And so, that's where we're at. I don't want to let him hurt me in front of my family, my friends, and I don't want him to take anything from me. So the animosity is, not personal, but obviously I want to fight this guy. I want to beat him. I love the animosity comes from all the doubters. It's crazy how fickle these fans are and how quick they forget who I am and what I do and how good I am at what I do.
Paddy openly admits his primary driving force, his main motivation, is proving people wrong. Shooting people up has fueled his ambition since he started this sport at 15. This relentless desire to silence doubters isn't just a competitive edge, it's deeply ingrained in his identity. Every raised eyebrow, every dismissive comment sharpens his resolve, turning skepticism into rocket fuel. This intrinsic need to justify himself through action underscores a mental fortitude that thrives under pressure, suggesting he embraces being underestimated, viewing it as an opportunity to solidify his unconventional path to stardom. It's a powerful psychological weapon with unyielding spirit.
I want to take him deep. I want to take him into the 4th, 5th round, and I want to beat the out of this guy. That is the plan, and I will plan on hurting him, and I will want to hurt him. The closer we get to this fight.
It's interesting you're talking about those later rounds because Paddy's keeps talking about I don't think it's going to get past the 3rd round. He's also talking about he wants to stand with you. He's made it pretty clear he hopes to knock you out. He has these visions of knocking you out. And that there is this perception that it's striker you versus him, the grappler, although he's both of you have shown multiple dimensions to your games here. Do you believe him that he actually is looking to make this kind of a striking war or just keep with you?
I don't even listen to that because we'll see. I'm definitely going to turn him into a wrestler. I promise you that. But we'll see. I mean, he's super dangerous. He absolutely commits 100% of his power into his shots. But yeah, I mean, he does leave himself open, and I have to use my experience and my technical abilities to take advantage of those mistakes. He's going to make mistakes, and you cannot make mistakes at this level. And I have to take advantage of that.
Justin's motivation is rooted in preservation. He views Paddy not as someone he dislikes, but as this kid who's trying to take everything from me. His entire life has been dedicated to this sport, building a legacy. The animosity, he clarifies, is not personal, but comes from all the doubters, from fickle fans who quickly forget who I am. This isn't just about winning, it's about defending his life's work, his name, and his position against public forgetfulness. Justin is fighting to remind everyone of his enduring worth, a desperate need to protect his accomplishments from being diminished by a rising star. This transforms the contest into a profound struggle for self-validation.
Michael Chandler got himself tired trying to take him down, which was absolutely foolish. I think it was 2, 3 times Michael Chandler took him down in the first round. He's lifting him up over his head. Classic Michael Chandler. Classic Michael Chandler. So yeah, I mean, once Chandler's past the first round, especially when he tries to wrestle the whole first round, pretty much anybody that's in shape can take him down. The guy gets really tired. Wrestling is tiring, and his wrestling is very tiring. He's very explosive guy, and he's constantly lifting people above his head, and yeah, it's a lot of waste of energy. So that was a tough position for himself to put himself in. I won't be doing that. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. This is 25 minutes in time.
The fight itself was never a long-term plan for Paddy. He revealed it wasn't something he had been building his whole year around. Initially, he was preparing for a completely different situation and even a different opponent. The idea of facing Justin only began to feel real once the belt picture shifted and plans changed quickly behind the scenes. For about 3 weeks, he was even training for a different opponent entirely before the Gaethje fight for the interim title was offered. This sudden shift in opponents and stakes highlights Paddy's adaptability and willingness to seize any opportunity. It underscores his readiness to step up, making his acceptance of this high-stakes bout all the more impressive. Paddy detailed a precise surgical plan for dismantling Justin. Beyond his vision of a stand-up knockout, he aims to ruin his legs with kicks. Noting Justin doesn't really throw his anymore, he sees this as poetic full circle, damaging Justin's calves as his own legs once faced similar assaults. Furthermore, Paddy confidently asserts that if the fight does go to the ground, it'll be over even faster. This layered approach, targeting both striking and grappling weaknesses, indicates a meticulous strategy beyond mere brawling. It suggests Paddy has thoroughly scouted his opponent, identifying specific vulnerabilities and planning multiple avenues to victory, demonstrating calculated aggression. Justin, however, has a completely different endgame. He doesn't aim for a quick, chaotic finish. Instead, his strategy is to take him deep. I want to take him into the 4th, 5th round, and I want to beat this guy. This patient, grinding approach is designed to systematically break Paddy down over time. Leveraging Justin's renowned gas tank and experience in championship rounds, he plans to hurt him progressively, believing Paddy will make mistakes by overcommitting early. This disciplined strategy is a direct counter to Paddy's predicted fast pace, setting up a war of attrition where physical and mental endurance will be tested, proving who can truly withstand the pressure of elite competition. Beneil Dariush offered a pragmatic perspective, viewing the odds through timing rather than pure talent. He suggested Justin is later in his career, noting that at lightweight decline usually shows up fast. Conversely, Paddy is still moving forward, still filling in gaps, and people don't really know how good he can become yet. This assessment bypasses personal bias, focusing on the natural ebb and flow of a fighter's prime. Dariush implies that while Justin's past achievements are undeniable, the sport's relentless nature means even legends eventually face an uphill battle against surging, still evolving contenders. It's a sobering reminder that age and accumulated battles inevitably catch up. Darius further elaborated on Justin's vulnerabilities, especially when it comes to specific matchups. He pointed out most of Justin's biggest wins came in fights that stayed upright and turned into wars on the feet. However, when things shift toward grappling heavy pressure, the results haven't been as strong. This critical insight highlights a potential blueprint for defeating Justin, suggesting his striking prowess may not translate as effectively against a relentless ground attack. Darius believes Paddy, even if not perfect, brings exactly that grappling heavy pressure and is willing to push the fight into those messy areas, creating a scenario where Justin's strengths might be neutralized. Colby Covington's analysis was blunt. If Paddy wins, it says more about where Justin is at now than how good Paddy actually is. Colby highlighted the damage Justin has taken over the years, the long run of wars and that brutal knockout loss that still hangs over him. This perspective suggests a win for Paddy might simply be a case of timing. catching a legendary fighter at a vulnerable stage rather than a definitive statement of Paddy's inherent superiority. It's a harsh reality check, implying the toll of a brutal career eventually becomes an undeniable factor, regardless of a fighter's heart or skill. The wear and tear, according to Covington, could be the silent deciding factor. Colby Covington also shifted the burden of proof onto Paddy, hinting that the pressure is actually on Paddy. He noted Paddy usually needs wrestling control to get comfortable and make things work, implying that if the fight stays standing, Paddy could struggle. This subtle jab suggests that for all of Paddy's confidence, his path to victory might be more narrow and reliant on forcing his preferred grappling exchanges. If he fails to secure takedowns or maintain control, he might find himself in deep waters against a renowned striker like Justin. It's a compelling counter-narrative, placing psychological weight firmly on the young contender's shoulders. Covington further fueled speculation by hinting that the whole setup feels like the UFC trying to fast-track a new star, suggesting the matchup is strategically crafted. This implies external factors beyond pure merit might be influencing the pairing, making the fight tricky to read. If true, it adds another layer of intrigue and pressure, as Paddy would not only fight an elite opponent but also carry the weight of the promotion's commercial ambition. Such a narrative introduces skepticism regarding the organic nature of the challenge, casting the fight as a litmus test for a manufactured star rather than a purely athletic contest. Armen Tuagan, a direct contender, made his preference clear, leaning towards Justin Gaethje. His reasoning wasn't about style but professionalism and reliability. Justin represents someone who is going to show up for the fight rather than duck out of it. Armen stated, a subtle yet stinging jab at some fighters' commitments. While he didn't question Paddy's confidence, he pointedly questioned his intentions regarding future matchups. This perspective highlights a common frustration among top contenders, the desire for active champions and willing opponents. Armen's pick wasn't just a prediction, it was a statement about the type of fighter he respects, believing he upholds the integrity of the sport. Armen Tsarukyan's critique of Paddy's intentions took a sharper turn, implying that if Paddy were to win, he would not rush into a fight with someone like Armen. The idea, as Armen framed it, was that Paddy would rather protect his position than test himself against the hardest matchup. This accusation suggests a tactical avoidance of truly challenging opponents, preferring to consolidate a comfortable position. It paints a picture of a fighter prioritizing career longevity and strategic matchmaking over the relentless pursuit of the toughest tests. Armen's pick for Justin was intertwined with a deeper respect for fighters who consistently seek out formidable challenges, a statement about courage. The stark contrast between the two fighters' pre-fight interviews is palpable. Paddy sounds almost serenely comfortable, like he expects this moment and feels ready for it. There's an air of destiny in his words, a quiet confidence. Justin, on the other hand, sounds utterly locked in, like he knows exactly what's at stake and isn't taking anything lightly. His urgency is a tangible force, a coiled spring of focus and determination. This dichotomy in their mental states alone offers profound insight into how the fight might unfold, revealing two radically different approaches to the same high-pressure scenario, setting the stage for an explosive collision of contrasting mindsets. This fundamental contrast sets the entire narrative: confidence versus urgency, belief versus experience. Paddy, with his unshakable self-belief and vision of a quick, decisive victory, represents the audacious spirit of a rising star. Justin, hardened by years in brutal wars and fueled by the urgency to protect his legacy, embodies the calculated experience of a seasoned veteran. These aren't just personality differences, they are deeply ingrained philosophies that will dictate their actions inside the octagon. The clash is more than physical, it's a battle of wills, a test of which mindset will prevail when the talking stops and the real answers begin to emerge, shaping the destiny of the lightweight division. Amidst the tactical breakdowns and personal stakes, Justin Gaethje offered a significant nod of respect to Paddy. He openly acknowledged Paddy had finished Michael Chandler, a feat Justin himself didn't finish Michael Chandler. This admission isn't just a throwaway line, it's a rare concession from a competitor, highlighting a legitimate accomplishment by his opponent that even Justin couldn't achieve. It lends crucial credibility to Paddy's capabilities, proving he's not just hype, but a legitimate threat capable of delivering highlight reel finishes against top-tier opponents. This respect, however, is tempered by Justin's belief that it doesn't change the outcome of their upcoming collision. Beyond the specific matchup, Justin also used his platform to voice broader frustrations with missed opportunities, weight issues, and chaotic moments at the top level. He cited cases where fighters were more deserving, but they got up multiple times. This wasn't just idle gossip, it was a veteran's lament about the capricious nature of title shots and the importance of professional reliability. He hammered home that at the highest level, you cannot make mistakes, particularly with weight, implying these missteps harm a fighter's standing regardless of their talent. This critique isn't directed solely at Paddy, but serves as a general warning. Consistency and professionalism are paramount in championship contention. Ultimately, the narratives have been spun, mind games played, and intentions laid bare. Paddy's calm confidence meets Justin's fierce protectiveness. The promise of leg kicks clashes with the threat of a grappling onslaught. Veteran insights challenge rising star momentum, but once they step into that octagon, all conjecture, all predictions, and all talk fade away. The only truth that matters will be revealed in the raw, unforgiving exchange of fists, feet, and pure will. It's time for real answers, where reputations are forged, legacies are defined, and the next chapter of the lightweight division is written in sweat and determination. Let us know in the comments below who you've got winning this monumental clash.